Let's talk about this, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys remember the game Farm Folks? You guys remember Farm Folks, okay? Farm Folks was that game that put out a tweet talking about jiggle physics, okay? Obviously, probably not the best time to ask for feedback on jiggle physics considering what's happening with Stellar Blade, but I kind of feel like it was purposeful. I kind of feel like they did this because they knew what was happening with Stellar Blade and they thought it would be a opportune time to talk about jiggle physics. Maybe they thought they were going to go viral. Maybe they thought they were, I don't know what they thought, but I think that it was definitely purposeful to an extent, but they decided to put out a tweet talking about, hey, how much jiggle physics do you think looks best on our characters? Now, you guys are probably asking, why the fuck is a farm game asking about jiggle physics, right? The reason why they're asking about it, just to catch people up, because some of you guys don't seem to know about this, to catch people up, apparently the developer, when they make their characters, they like to focus on realism. Even though they're making a game that is extremely cartoony and looks like Fortnite, they like to focus on realism. So they like to showcase the character breathing, right? They like to showcase, like if it's cold outside, they like to showcase a frost effect in the breath. They like to showcase hair bouncing and flowing in the wind. They like to showcase realism, right? So apparently they said that they were having complaints about jiggle physics prior and how they weren't realistic before. So they then decided to want to ask their community for feedback. And the feedback they got was an absolute roasting session online that resulted in them taking down the post and apologizing. Okay. So now you guys are caught up on the story. Now, apparently, the CEO is now going the complete opposite way and went from, yeah, we just wanted feedback to, we don't want those kind of gamers. We don't want the nasty gamers. We don't want the incels. We don't just completely went the other way. Now, this post right here doesn't showcase the full truth about the story, and I'm gonna tell you the full truth about the story. Okay, so did he attack gamers? Sort of, but not fully. What he's doing is he's actually trying to ride the fence. He's trying to go directly in the middle. So what he ended up saying was that he doesn't want people that are extreme, nasty, incels, or whatever. And he doesn't want people that don't want any realism. He doesn't want people that don't appreciate the fine details. So he's trying to ride the middle. He's trying to fence it right in the middle, right? He doesn't want to go on either side, it seems like. But a lot of people are clipping out the part where he says incels and stuff like that and trying to focus fire that. And I mean, listen, rightfully so. I mean, you went from nobody talking about your game to now everybody is shitting on your game. And then the problem is that now you got people like this fucking psychopath involved in it that nobody wants to hear from. Alyssa Mercante, who is a public editor for Kotaku on a public company, by the way, says, my takeaway, this is what she posted on her public Twitter account. Farm Folks maintains that they were woefully ignorant of their Gamergate 2.0 stuff. They accidentally fed into a firestorm. They don't want anything to do what? I can't even see that. Anything to do with Korn and Co., but also don't want to openly deride them and kick the hornet's nest either. They're worried about not being political, which even the CEO says might be a bit naive in the current climate. Everyone is welcome to play their game. So again, he's right down the middle. Okay, he's trying to be as right down the middle as he possibly can. But somebody like this is picking up the story and then trying to say, well, riding down the middle is not really possible in today's climate, and that apparently, if you don't know what's happening with Gamergate 2.0, not to believe them. Now, I don't see how you cannot know, but then again, I don't think this is an American developer. Is this an American developer? So it might be plausible that he doesn't know about the Gamergate 2.0 stuff, but I mean, how can you not be an American, right? Think about that for a second, because look what happened. Who started the Steam curator page? It wasn't an American, right? It wasn't an American. It was Cabrutus who started the page. And then who started Gamergate 2.0? It wasn't an American. It was a fucking Canadian. You know, so I can't use the out of country thing as an excuse as to why maybe he didn't know. But even if he did or didn't know, I think he did a terrible thing apologizing to the mob. I'm not going to lie to you. Because the mob is not actually there to try to be genuine about the game. The mob is there to be angry over what they perceive the game is about, right? The moment these people hear jiggle physics, they're immediately going to go to sexualization. It doesn't even matter if the game is actually realistic or not. And in this case, the game is not realistic, right? Look at the fucking game. The game is not realistic in the slightest. And you're going to argue about sexualization of characters. I guess. I mean, listen, people sexualize cartoon characters all the time. I guess you might have a point. But they're not, that's not what they were trying to go for. I don't believe that they were trying to go for that. I honestly, genuinely think that they just thought that, hey, we were getting bitched at about jiggle physics before from our fans, so let's just go ask our fans what they think, not realizing that they probably should have kept it to their Discord. Like, they have a Discord. You probably should have kept that to your Discord. The moment you put that on Twitter, you made the worst move. I mean, look at this. This post right here, I have a problem with this post. Oh, and also keep in mind about one thing. The developer, when he was doing that interview, he said that, oh, we're not saying we're taking out jiggle physics. We're also not saying we're putting them in. I'm like, what the fuck? Just make the game how you want to make it, and the market will decide your fate. Stop trying to ride this fucking fence right down the middle. Just make the game you want to make. See, the issue is that they asked for feedback on a topic that, unfortunately for them, whether they knew or they didn't know, was a very divisive topic that they should have just kept to themselves. I guarantee you, if this game came out and they never said anything about the jiggle physics, then nobody would have even complained about it when the game was actually out, because they're not going to be looking to this game and thinking sexualization to begin with. So it probably would have been swept under the rug for a lot of people. All these people who get mad at supposed jiggle physics for women because they've never seen boobs jiggle before, it would have been swept under the rug, right? So I agree with that. I agree with what you guys are saying in chat. You're saying that this was for publicity. I do. I 100% agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm leaning more towards the side of they did this purposefully. Like, they made that post purposefully. I am leaning towards that side. So ultimately, and then they made this post here. Check out the immersive details of our characters who react vividly to cold and warmth and even exhale visible condensation. You have the freedom to build your home. That's great. But now that you mentioned jiggle physics, are they going to be in there or not? You even have shoulder jiggle physics. The shoulder is jiggling up and down like this. It's not even matching the breathing. It's just up and down. So this is all great, but you touting realism doesn't mean anything to me after you just seemingly said that you would remove realism because it made some people upset. And then after saying that, then you want to go do an interview with Alyssa Mercante and say, well, we don't know if we're actually going to remove it or not. Just make the fucking game. Just make the game. That's all I got to say about that.